Good.
Good evening, Your Honor. Neil Poston for the state.
Hi, good evening. What is your full name, please?
Oscar Reynaldo Contreras Jr.
All right, so it looks like you were arrested for charges involving domestic violence assault, domestic violence disorderly conduct, 1 count of assault and 1 count of disorderly conduct. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty. I am going to release you. If I release you, you are not allowed to have any contact with Mia. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Judge.
So you can't go to where she lives. You got to figure out where you're going to live. You may return one time with a police escort to get your belongings. You'll need to appear in city court April 1st at 1:30 p.m. It's your next hearing date. If you don't appear, a warrant will issue for your arrest, and do not commit any further acts of domestic violence. Do you understand?
May I ask a question, Judge?
Yes.
It said I had another hearing on the 12th and stuff. Does that is that still there, or is that the one that got moved to the 1st?
You can be seen by a judge on the 1st. That's the one you need to appear for both cases.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, it's April 7th. I thought it said the 1st. It's April 7th at 1:30 for both cases. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Yes, okay.
Oh, you know what? Let me have the file back. I didn't see how to PO hold. Hold on, sir. What is your full name, please?
Joseph Daniel Delavara.
All right, looks like the jail found a case that you've had pending, a shoplifting from February 21st, 2025. I am going to enter plea of not guilty. I will let you know that this is a misdemeanor charge. I'm going to release you on this case, but I see you're being held on a probation hold. I will let city court know that you're currently in custody, and I will set your next court date for April 18, 2025 at 9 a.m. in City Court. I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you to see if we can get this case resolved. Your attorney will be in touch with you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
What is your full name, please?
Jessica Pavela Munoz.
All right, hold on a second. You had a warrant for arrest at the jail found for a shoplifting case. The case was from August 11th of 2024. I'm going to quash the warrant. I'm going to release you. I see you're being held on another matter. Go ahead. So your next court date is going to be in Justice Court, March 17th at 8:30 a.m. And I'll let Justice Court know that you're currently in custody on another matter. Thank you. You're excused.
Okay.
What is your full name, please?
Joseph Gabriel Parente.
You have charge of domestic violence, criminal damage, domestic violence, disorderly conduct. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty. Hold on a second. Looks like you're being held on another matter. I'm assuming it's a justice court case where you're being held. Sir, if I release you, you're not going to be allowed to have any contact with Maribel. Do you understand?
I do understand. I do have a place to go. I can go to my mother's house.
Hold on, I'm not asking all those questions. I'm letting you know you cannot have contact with her and you cannot go to where she lives. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, your next court date is going to be April 1st, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. You must appear in city court. If you do not appear, a warrant will issue for your arrest. And do not pick up any new charges. Do not commit any further acts of domestic violence. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you. Gentlemen, go ahead, stand up. Follow me today.
Should I appoint counsel to partner cases? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your full name, please?
Sean Lamont Haney Jr., Your Honor.
You're charged with domestic violence assault. I'm gonna enter plea of not guilty. I'm willing to let you be released, but you cannot have any contact with Aaliyah. Do you understand? You understand, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do not go to where she lives. Do not have any contact with her whatsoever.
Yes.
And-
Your Honor, Your Honor, I have
Hold on a second. Do not commit any further acts of domestic violence. The next court date is going to be March 17th at 8:30 a.m. Did you have a question?
you said March 17th at 8:30 a.m.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor. The only question I have is I do have 3 kids. We do have 3 kids together. So how do we do about that? Am I supposed to contact a family member to go pick them up, or how does that work? Because I do have my kids 5 days out of the week. Every other week I have them 6 days out of the week. She only works. She's only off on
Hold on a
Fridays.
second. It's a lot of information there. I can't tell you how you're going to parent. I can let you know that you cannot have any contact with her. So do not have any contact with her. Do not call her and do not go to her residence location.
Yes, Your Honor. I was just asking, can I have family members contact her to pick up my kids for me? That's the only question I have, Your Honor.
You're excused. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. You're welcome.
Your Honor, Sidell, just to inform you that, Munoz Jessica, she's a Spanish teacher, so she didn't understand her words.
Which one is she?
Jessica,
Jessica, let's see, Jessica. I don't see it. Jessica Munoz? We already did her?
Spanish. Yeah, but she speaks Spanish. She didn't understand a word.
All right, well, you'll have to bring her back. Sir, what is your name, please? What is your name? I'm gonna leave him.
Alonzo Johnson,
Your
Jr.
your full name, please.
Alonzo Johnson Jr.
All right, looks like you had a theft warrant for your arrest at a justice court from June 30th, 2023, a criminal trespass to the third degree from April 11th, 2024. New charges of shoplifting and criminal trespass from justice court. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty, quash the warrant. Your next court dates in justice court for all three cases is March 24th at 10:30 a.m. You must
Yes,
be
ma'am.
present. If not, warrants will issue for your arrest.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
you also had cases in city court. You had multiple warrants for your arrest on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cases. Your bond is set at $1,000. I'll quash the warrant. A city public
not-
defender's office is going to be appointed. March 14th at 1:45 p.m. is your next court date in city court. Did you have a
Yes,
question?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. When it says 9 failures to appear, now when you miss a court date, isn't that you get a warrant, right? Well,
Yeah.
when you miss a court date, I don't understand how I have 9 of those because I don't have that. I'm not understanding that one. On that
You have
part.
7 warrants for 7 separate cases in city court, and then you have 2 warrants for your arrest at a justice court on 2 separate cases. One was a theft of June 30th, 2023. The other one from justice courts, January 28th, 2024 is for a criminal trespass. And in city court, you had 7 cases involving criminal trespass, shoplifting, threats and intimidation, criminal trespass, refusing to provide your true name. So you had
Okay.
nine warrants total.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
All righty. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Or 7. What is your full name, please?
¿Qué es su nombre completo, por favor?
Jessica Pavena Muñoz Elena.
All right, looks like you are charged with, was a warrant for your arrest for a shoplifting charge from August 11th of 2024.
Bueno, parece que existe una orden de arresto debido a una imputación por ratería en tiendas con fecha de 11 de agosto del 2024.
I'm going to release you on this case.
La voy a dejar en libertad en este caso.
Your next court date is going to be in Justice Court, March 17th at 8:30 a.m.
Su próxima audiencia va a ser en el Tribunal de la Paz el día 17 de marzo a las 8:30 de la mañana.
But you're going to remain in custody on your other felony case.
Pero usted va a seguir detenida en el otro caso relacionado con un delito grave.
Thank you, you're excused.
Gracias, ya puede retirarse.
Can you put on here Spanish or no? Okay. What is your full name, please?
Joven Navajo.
Miss Navajo, you have a case out of Justice Court. It was for a DUI case from April 23rd of 2021. I am going to quash that warrant. It was for a DUI case. I'm not sure what the status of that case is. I'm going to allow you to be released on this case. You have to appear in court, ma'am. This case is not going to go away. Your next court date's March 28th, 2025 at 10 a.m. If you don't appear, another warrant's going to issue for your arrest. You also had a case out of city court. It was a warrant for your arrest. It was for an some sort of aggravated assault charge. It was a misdemeanor, and you took a plea back on January 17th, 2022. You took a plea. It involved a victim by the name of Miguel Pacheco, and you were supposed to do the diversion program, but I see you did not complete the program. Looks like you only did like 7 of your 26 classes. And so what I'm going to do at this time is Navajo is just impose the sentence in the case. Find that you had pled guilty to the aggravated assault charge that occurred on June 16th of 2020. Place you on 6 months of unsupervised probation. Your fine was $2,500, but I'm gonna suspend $2,000. You're left paying $500. I'm just gonna set you up on a payment plan of $25 monthly beginning April 15th, 2025. I will release you and quash the warrants in the case. Do you understand?
Yes.
And what is your date of birth, ma'am?
12/29/70.
All right, make sure you appear in justice court on the other matter. You are excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
Frida?
What is your full name, please?
Erica Benitez,
Say your last name.
PEREYRA.
All right, looks like you had a warrant for your arrest for a shoplifting from March 8th of 2023. I'm gonna quash the warrant. Hold on a second. Looks like the judge wants you held on this case. Hold on a second. Like a warrant just went out for you February 3rd of 2025. You living in a Tucson area?
South Tucson, yes.
So you gotta show up for court. I'm gonna release you on this shoplifting matter. Set your next court date for March 7th at 1 o'clock, which is tomorrow. Yeah, you're gonna have to appear back in justice court tomorrow. If you don't, ma'am, another warrant's gonna issue. The only way this case is gonna get resolved is when you show up for court you can show up tomorrow and get the case resolved, okay?
Okay.
You also had,
Well,
you also had 2 warrants for your arrest at a city court for a drug paraphernalia charge and criminal trespass charge. I'm gonna quash the warrants. I'm gonna trust that you're gonna show up for court. I'm gonna release you. April 7th at 2:00 PM is your next court date in city court. Did you have a question for me?
what was the first court date?
Tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
That was, okay,
Get your copies of your paperwork.
okay. Thank you.
Make
Is that
sure
all?
you don't have to appear back here. You're excused.
Thank you.
Your middle name?
J Mark.
All right, so it looks like you had a warrant for your arrest out of justice court for a domestic violence disorderly conduct case. That case was from May 21st of 2023. I'm gonna quash the warrant. I'm gonna trust that you're gonna show up for court this time. You've got to get this case resolved. March 26th at 1 o'clock is your next court date in justice court. If you don't appear, a warrant will issue. Hold on a second. It says Janet. Did I take that off or? Okay, Janet Altstiller is your attorney. So you're really lucky. You're very fortunate that you have an attorney. Her phone number is going to be on here. She'll help you resolve your case. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You also have a case out of, let's see, where is it? South Tucson from today's date for criminal trespass. I'm going to quash the warrant, release you. Your next court is going to be in South Tucson City Court, March 18th at 10 a.m. Make sure you make your court date on that day. Hold on a second. And you can't go back to 2020 South 6th Avenue. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You also had a case out of city court. Was for an assault disorderly conduct from December 29, 2024. You had better see me in court. I'm Judge Hale. I'm going to release you. I'm going to trust that you're going to see me on April 4th at 9 a.m. If you show up, you also can get your case resolved on that day. So make sure you're appearing so you don't have to be back in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You're excused. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm being released on all charges?
Yes. Don't pick up any more charges.
Hello,
What is your full name, please?
I'm Lisa Tillman.
All right, looks like you had warrants for your arrest out of South Tucson for 3 cases involving criminal trespass with shoplifting, a 4th case for criminal trespass, and a last case for shoplifting. I am going to enter pleas of not guilty. You're living in Tucson?
Yes, ma'am.
You have got to show up for court. These cases will never go away until you show up and get your cases resolved, whether you want to take a plea or whether you want to take your case to trial. Make sure you show
Yes,
up in
ma'am.
South Tucson. I'm gonna release you March 18th here. More warrants will issue for your arrest. You also had a warrant for your arrest out of city court for criminal trespass on November 23rd, 2024. I am going to enter plea of not guilty, quash the warrants, release you on that case too. April 7th at 9 a.m. is your next court date in city court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're gonna get copies of your paperwork. Make sure you show up for court. You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. God bless you. Come on. You're gonna have to sit in the place. Yes.
What is your full name, sir?
Johnson Michael Williams.
Your car looked like it was a warrant for your arrest at a justice court for a shoplifting case from September 7th of 2023. I'm gonna quash the warrant. Mr. Williams, you also have to show up. This case is like, what, almost a year and a half old?
Okay,
Set your next court date in justice court, March 17th at 8:30 a.m. Make sure you appear. If you don't, another warrant will issue for your arrest. And
All right.
you had a case from July 19th of 2023 for an assault, disorderly conduct, threats, shoplifting, criminal trespass. I'm
Oh.
rarely going to release you on this case, Mr. Williams. You have to show up April 7th at 9:30 a.m. in city court so that you can either set your case up for trial or take a plea offer if there's a plea offer offered. Do you understand?
okay.
All right, you're excused. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Same with the guys.
What is your full name, please?
Yeah. Duarte.
Looks like you had 1, 2, 3, 4 cases of warrant status out of city court for charges involving unlawful possession of prescription drugs and drug paraphernalia for 1 case, a criminal trespass disorderly conduct for a 2nd case, a criminal trespass with a drug paraphernalia 3rd case, and a criminal trespass shoplifting for a 4th case. I am going to enter pleas of not guilty. Let's see. So, Mr. Duarte, I'm not sure why you did not stay in touch with your attorney. Are you living in Tucson?
I just barely came back from Phoenix like a month ago, but yeah.
You were in Phoenix?
Yeah, I went to go visit family out there. It's had a situation of a family loss. My grandpa passing away recently.
I'm barely going to give you a chance to be released. You got to show up April 7th at 9 a.m. in city court. If you don't appear, more warrants will appear and you'll be in custody. You've got to make sure you show up. You're excused. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. Have a good one.
Jail, what happened to, let's see, Saul Moreno?
He was medically rejected, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. I'll continue his case till tomorrow then.
Good evening, Judge.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Good, Judge. How are you?
I am good. All right, let's see. Can you just white out what I put there? And continue to AM. All right, what is your full name, please?
Josephine Encinas.
All right, looks like you're charged with a drive-by shooting charge, discharging a firearm at a residential structure, discharging a firearm within the city limits, and aggravated assault, use of a deadly weapon. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty. I need to let you know that you do have a constitutional right to remain silent, to be represented by an attorney. There is an attorney who is seated next to you representing you for this evening's hearing. I'm going to hear first from the prosecutor's office regarding their bond recommendation, and then I will hear from your attorney. County Attorney.
Your Honor, the state requests a $100,000 bond on the basis that this is an incredibly dangerous, incredibly reckless action on the part of the defendant. The defendant shot at the subject residence multiple times with a .40 caliber pistol because somebody that she may have had intimate relations with in the past, she thought was living there, when in fact there was 2 innocent people living there. The police recovered bullet casings, a .40 caliber weapon in the defendant's possession, and noted pockmarked pockmarks from where the bullet struck the residence. And Your Honor, we could have had 2 dead people on our hands for this person's recklessness. And for that, she is a dire risk to the community. $100,000.
Defense counsel?
Your Honor, it looks like Ms. Encinas has absolutely no criminal history, at least from the pretrial services report. She is 21 years old. She's been a lifelong Tucson resident. Her mother has told pretrial services that she can provide third-party custody and transport. For those reasons, Judge, we are asking for release to pretrial, but here under $10,000. Thank you.
Mr. Stevens, because of the alleged facts in this case, I'm going to set your bond at $100,000. You're not allowed to have any contact with the alleged victims or go back to that residence location, possess no firearms or weapons. The legal defender's office is appointed to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is set March 17th at 1:30 p.m. Your attorney will be in touch with you soon. Thank you. You're excused.
Judge, I'm going to switch cameras on Teams because of some lagging issues. Do you mind?
No.
On the next one, Judge, I believe it's Mr. Naga. I have a note from his attorney letting me know that he was found not competent, not restorable in July of 2024. I understand the state's asking for a no bond hold, but the attorney just asked me to communicate the information to try in an attempt to try to get it released, but we obviously understand what the state is asking.
Excuse me,
Hi, sir. What is your full name, please?
5480280.
Are you Michael Maga?
It's me, Michael Mango.
Thank you. You're charged with attempted burglary in 3rd degree and aggravated assault. I'm enter pleas of not guilty. You have a right to remain silent, to be represented by an attorney. There is an attorney who's sitting next to you. I'm going to hear first from the prosecutor's office regarding their bond recommendation. Mr. Poston?
Your Honor, we don't have anything in writing regarding this not competent, not restorable. So at this point, recommendation of no bond. He was out on one case, and when he was detained, he allegedly tried to grab the officer's firearm. He attempted to get his dogs to attack the officer, and then he later bit the officer. Your Honor, this would carry mandatory prison time, assuming for the sake of argument that there is not competent, not restorable. And Your Honor, I don't think the state does not believe it's appropriate to let him go based on the avowal of an attorney we don't have anything in writing from the court on.
Defense counsel?
Thank you, Judge. So I do see a report that the assigned attorney forwarded me. It is through the court's competency program, indicating indicating that it's not restorable.
I don't mean it's no mean.
So, Your Honor, I understand where the state's coming from.
Go home.
Our request was going to be
We can go.
release condition, but I guess if the court wants to set a no bond hearing, I really don't know. If I can forward the email to Mr. Post, if that'll help, we can come back later.
Yes, can go.
Your Honor, the state would stand by its recommendation, no bond, until we can sort this out in the light of day and not at 7:30 at night.
Maga, I'm gonna hold you without bond. Your no bond hearing set March 11th at 2:30. Your preliminary hearing at March 17th at 1:30. No contact with the victim or go back to the residence location of the victim. Thank you. You're all excused.
Mayor, close that up, please.
Thank you. All right. Okay. And Your Honor, I know we went off the record, but the minute entry I see is from Justice Court of the not competent not restoreable. So I know it'll take a while for the Justice Court to forward to the Superior Court, but in case I can email Mr. Poston. So
The state's not comfortable with letting them go in the dark of night. The judge ruled. I mean,
okay. Thank you. I was just doing my best. Thank you.
What is your full name, sir?
Roger Dennis Mark.
Mr. Moore, you had 2 misdemeanor cases in warrant status out of justice court. One case was a domestic violence interfering with judicial proceedings or failure to comply with the court order. Actually, both charges involved those same charges. One case was from November 21st of 2024. The other case from November 27th, 2024. I'm going to quash the warrants, release you on both cases. Your next court date's going to be in justice court, March 25th, 2025 at 9:30 a.m. Make sure you appear in court and your attorney's name is Adam Waters. There's a phone number that's going to be on your paperwork. Call him tomorrow and, talk to him about your cases. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
There. You got something? Go ahead. Yeah. Everybody else?
Yeah.
Check. Follow up, please.
Okay. Come here.
Sit down, Judge.
What is your full name, please?
Hector Rodriguez Rodriguez.
You had a warrant for your arrest for an unlawful possession narcotic drug, unlawful possession drug paraphernalia case. The alleged incident date was from September 12th, 2024. I'm going to quash the warrant, release you. Quash the warrant, let you know you do have a constitutional right to remain silent, to be represented by an attorney. There is an attorney who is seated next to you representing you for this evening's hearing. I'm going to hear first from the prosecutor's office regarding their bond recommendation, and then I'll hear from your attorney. Deputy County Attorney.
Your Honor, he's a 6 out of 6. He's established a very strong pattern of failing to appear. We don't have much information on him. He was on release. He is prior 7,500.
Defense counsel?
So, Your Honor, I think the bond amount listed on the warrant is $500. And he may or may not be eligible for a plus 200 plea, which is probation mandated. I just don't have all the details. But given the low-level simple possession charge that's listed on the warrant, we are asking you to give him. We could see he is 6 on 6 on the scales, but we are asking for one chance on pretrial services. If not, we just ask the court to impose the $500 bond.
Mr. Borges Rodriguez, your bond is set at $1,000 plus release of pretrial services. If you're able to post that bond, you must comply with any monitored treatment as directed by pretrial services. If you were to get out of custody, you cannot be in possession of any alcohol or take any illegal drugs. You cannot be in possession of any illegal drugs. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Your arraignment date is set for March 13, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. Your attorney will be in touch with you. Thank you. You're excused. What is your full name, please?
Christian Zion Cañeda.
You're charged with 1 count of unlawful possession of narcotic drug for sale. I'm going to enter plea of not guilty. You do have a constitutional right to remain silent, to be represented by an attorney. There is an attorney who is seated next to you representing you for this evening's hearing. I'm going to hear first from the prosecutor's office regarding their bond recommendation, and then I will hear from your attorney. Deputy County Attorney.
Your Honor, during the course of a traffic stop, a search incident to a canine free air sniff, the search yielded over 50,000 M30 fentanyl fake oxy pills that were packaged for sale. 50,000. State recommends a $35,000 bond.
Defense counsel.
So, Your Honor, it looks like Mr. Canedo has some part-time employment. His uncle will provide family support and transportation to court. He has actually absolutely no felony history, Judge. So we're asking for release to pretrial services, but in case you're not inclined, we asked for a bond of $5,000. Thank you.
Mr. Canedo, your bond set at $30,000. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is set March 17th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. Your attorney will be in touch with you. You're excused. Thank you. What is your full name, please?
Scott Blair Plattfilter.
You're charged with 1 count of domestic violence, aggravated assault, 3 counts of misdemeanor violation of a court order, a misdemeanor threats and intimidation charge, a misdemeanor disorderly conduct charge, and a misdemeanor criminal damage charge. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty to all those charges. Let you know.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a constitutional right to remain silent, to be represented by an attorney. There is an attorney who is seated next to you representing you for this evening's hearing. I'm going to hear first in the prosecutor's office regarding their bond recommendation, and then I will hear from your attorney. Deputy County Attorney.
Your Honor, this defendant is alleged to have gone into a residence that he was barred from by an order of protection, threatened to kill his mother, screamed obscenities at her, urinated on her bed, knocking her down. And Your Honor, this individual is 64 years old, so I can only guess the mother is somewhere in her 80s. We don't know what her condition is. And this mom was handicapped, unable to get up by herself. He stomped on his mother's walker, breaking it, and also threatened what looks to be his sister. He is absolute immediate danger to his own family and doesn't seem to care if he has an OP against him. $100,000.
Defense counsel?
Your Honor, can I have a brief moment, please?
Yes.
So, Your Honor, Mr. Clark Fletcher is a Benson resident for 10 years. It looks like he has only one failure to appear in the last 2 years. And Your Honor, his last conviction seems to be from 1995. Given that that's the case, we're asking you to release him to pretrial services supervision, but in case you're not inclined, a close to $10,000 bond. Thank you.
Mr. Klopfelter, your bond set at $50,000. No contact with your mom and your Stacy. Do not commit any further acts of domestic violence, possession of firearms or weapons. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is set March 7th at March 17th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. Your attorney will be in touch with you soon. You also had a warrant for your arrest for a domestic violence assault, domestic violence disorderly conduct case. The alleged incident date was from January 19th, 2020. I'm going to quash the warrant. Because I held you on a felony, I'll release you on the misdemeanor. Your next court date in Justice Court is March 26th at 1:00 p.m. And I'll let Justice Court know you're currently in custody on a felony matter. You are
Felony? How many felonies?
the felony charge that I read to you. The domestic violence aggravated assault, one charge.
Yeah.
Your attorney will be in touch with you. Thank you. What is your
Yes.
name, please?
Christian Jackson's name. That's Phil for a while.
Middle name?
Eric.
You have been arrested and accused of the crimes of unlawful possession of narcotic drug, unlawful possession of a dangerous drug, unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You may be eligible to participate in a diversion program called STEPS that only requires you to participate in a plan specific to your needs for a short time. If you choose to participate and complete the program, these felony drug accusations in your arrest report will be permanently dismissed without you ever being formally charged. Are you interested in getting released from jail custody now and learning more about the STEPS program at your next hearing date?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services. You must comply with any monitored treatment they recommend. While on release status, you cannot drink any alcohol, be in possession of any alcohol, don't take any illegal drugs, and do not be in possession of any illegal drugs. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Your first hearing is called a STEPS hearing. It is set for next week, March 13th, 2025 at 9 a.m. You must be present if not, a warrant will issue for your arrest, and you may no longer be eligible for this special diversion program. Defense counsel, are you willing to waive time for the preliminary hearing?
Certainly, Judge. And the 45 days is April 21st.
April 21st at 1:30 is your preliminary hearing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, actually, I'm glad he's still there. He had a drug paraphernalia case I'm gonna quash a warrant, release him. Your next court date in Justice Court, sir, is March 17th at 8:30 a.m. Make sure you appear in Justice Court on that misdemeanor drug paraphernalia case. You're excused. Thank you. What is your full name, please?
Juan Daniel Lopez.
You're charged with one count of drive-by shooting. I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty. You do have a constitutional right to remain silent, to be represented by an attorney. You do have an attorney who is seated next to you representing you for this evening's hearing. I'm going to hear first from the prosecutor's office regarding their bond recommendation, and then I will hear from your attorney. Deputy County Attorney?
Your Honor, this is the driver from the aforementioned drive-by shooting. It appears that he was upset that the co-defendant may have previously had a relationship with somebody he didn't like. So they decided to go to that residence where they thought he lived, but he didn't, and shoot the place up. $100,000.
Defense counsel?
Your Honor, Mr. Lopez has absolutely no felony criminal history. He's 22. He's lived in Tucson his whole life. The degree of involvement is what is at issue here. He is alleged to have been the driver. We understand accomplice liability applies, but Your Honor, given the level of participation, we are asking you to consider release, but if you're not inclined, a $50,000 bond. Thank you.
Mr. Lopez, your bond is set at $100,000 due to the alleged facts of this case. No contact with the alleged victims. Don't go back to that residence location. Possess no firearms or weapons. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. March 17th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. is your preliminary hearing. Your attorney will be in touch with you soon. Thank you. You're excused.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Everyone's excused. Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Judge. Fine, Neil.